Right, everybody, welcome along to the Legit Crypto Lounge, the place that brings together real projects with real people. Thank you for joining us for today's AMA with the team behind MetaReflect, a hyper-deflationary token. In terms of the program for the next hour, we'll meet the team behind the token, check what sets it apart from the competition. We can have a chat about the tokenomics, run through the pre-launch and launch details, and then see how far this team can take this token. So Malik, if you'd like to tell us a bit about yourself, your background and area of expertise, that'd be great.
That's cool. So my name is Malik. I've been in the industry for over a year now. Before I got into crypto, I was doing e-commerce. I have multiple e-commerce stores. I own them, and we've been doing a lot of marketing and such. So we founded MetaReflect with my partner here with MetaReflect. So we have been researching the market, especially the reflection tokens, and we've been studying the tokenomics and all that. So we came up with the white paper for MetaReflect and decided on the utilities that we found. The utilities that we found will be most useful to complement the reflections. So my partner here will take over and showcase the website, the white paper, and what utilities we have ready now.
Yeah, so I'm, as he stated, co-founder of MetaReflect. Just a little about myself. I have been in crypto for over a year now. I never really delved deep into developing a token just because obviously the space was getting so saturated and it's hard to create something new and revolutionary. But then I met Malik, and we came up with some really good ideas for utilities that will help raise the price and keep volume without necessarily depending on new investors coming in, because as you know, the game in cryptocurrency, it's always a struggle finding new people to invest in your token. And there comes a point, even, you see it in SafeMoon, where they've kind of reached their maximum market, and you have to expand into new markets. So really excited with some of the utilities that we've come up with to make that expansion possible and put money back in the project. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen just to go through the white paper and website and all the good details quickly. So let's see. Perfect. Yeah, so as you can see here, this is our website. If you haven't viewed it, I recommend you go check it out, metareflect.io. Pretty straightforward. It just explains, the project and our goals, gives brief on the tokenomics of things. And then it kind of goes into why we created it in the ecosystem. And as I said, it's a brief website. We're not trying to, throw up information on the page. That's what our white paper's for. So this is supposed to get the general gist across, and we encourage people to go read our white paper to get a more in-depth. But there's a couple unique features here, like this BUSD rewards, which will be transferred over to our dashboard, where you'll be able to see your rewards based on volume and total supply and all that good stuff. But jumping over to the white paper, let's see if you can see that. Yeah, so jumping over the white paper is a much more in-depth, detailed version of our project and why we've come up with it and our mission. I think the biggest thing, because obviously there's a lot of projects in BSC nowadays, I think the biggest thing we're focusing on right now is to not overpromise, because a lot of people tend to overpromise with things that they can't deliver. So we've very strategically planned out our roadmap and discussed what we can and cannot do. We're very strategically planning announcements to make sure that things are set up as they should be before we make an announcement. And we're really focused on more than anything growing a community of people that trust in us and that have faith in what we're doing. We're all about being trustful devs, being transparent. As you know, in the coming days, they're going to be doxing, and we're already KYC'd. So we're really trying to create a DeFi protocol that not just one that's going to launch and just die, and people are going to be like, oh, what happened? We're trying to create a long-term project that people can continue to invest in and make money in. And as you see, yeah, that's in our values here: transparency, longevity, integrity, community. We're just trying to focus on these core values and expand on them. Something that's mastered by few in the crypto space and not done by a lot either. But some of our utilities, obviously, we're going to have a D app and a dashboard. This is going to show you, how many rewards you've received, how many rewards, have been accumulated in total. This will also give you the opportunity to stake and farm. And we'll go into the dashboard after this white paper review. But what's interesting about our staking is that we're going to have pools where you can stake our native token, MRF, and earn more native token back on that. And we're going to have different stake times for that, how long you want to stake it for. And so you can put your tokens in. Let's say you stake for 30 days. After the 30 days is up, you can take it out, be on your way. And if you pull out before 30 days is over, we're going to charge like a fee, kind of like a service fee for withdrawing early. And that's going to help fund that staking pool, so we don't have to worry about running out of tokens for the staking pool. Also, we're going to have rotating staking pools, which is going to allow us to partner with other projects in the space. And what that's going to do is you can invest or stake in this rotating staking pool, which will not only give you MRF in return, but it will also give you that BSC token in return. So let's just say you want to stake and you want to earn, ever-earn. Then you can, if we partner with them, you can come into our staking pool, you can stake your MRF, and then you'll earn an APY of ever-earn on top of an APY of MRF. So that's extremely beneficial just because it utilizes the fact that there's more than one project in the crypto space, and people do like to have their hands in a lot of projects. So it's going to be nice to have that option where people can earn other projects and earn on top of our project. It's also super beneficial because these partnerships will open up the doors to a whole other plethora of things. Not only will we be able to connect communities and grow bigger together, but we'll also be able to grow as projects and hopefully integrate further beyond staking pools, given that the connection is successful and we make that bond between teams. Further down the utilities, we also have an NFT marketplace planned. We're planning an NFT collection as well down the road in Q3, I believe. And this is going to be, your basic NFT marketplace where you can buy, sell. We've discussed a lot about this marketplace and how to make it unique. We've discussed ways to, have it be able so that people who come into this marketplace can create NFTs using a tool and not have to, go use some other website. They can do it right on the platform. This marketplace it's an added bonus. It's something that we plan to turn into something bigger. I'm not necessarily going to touch on that at the moment because we're still finalizing all the details of that project. And that's a project that we're keeping non-disclosed until we hammer it out, because we don't want someone to pick up on it and reproduce it faster than we can. But basically that bigger long-term project is going to run off the general basis of an NFT marketplace. And as time goes on, we'll start releasing more information on that. Not giving away too much about it, but trying to show you guys where we're headed. And then there will come a day when we'll be able to release that fully and have a beta app or website up, and you guys will be able to use that. Further down the line, we have a P2e Game. This is going to be, nothing quite like Sandbox or something of that realm, but it's going to be a game that you can play and earn rewards from simply by playing against other players and doing missions. This P2e game is also scheduled for farther down the road in Q3 and Q4. And this P2e game is going to utilize the NFTs that we drop, the collections, and we're looking also to utilize NFTs that people create. So even if it's not a part of our collection, but if it's made on our platform, then we're looking to create that and have it be able to be accessed in game. And then also we have the Mrf Wallet. It's going to be a wallet where you can buy, swap, sell crypto, and you can view all your rewards, all that good stuff. We're looking to turn it into a sort of flues trades, if you know what that is, where you can directly buy fiat right on the platform and then swap that to whatever BSC token you want. This is it's very doable, but it's not something that we're going to be able to do by Q2 or like in the next week. So while we implement this wallet and find the proper requirements and credit card processing company and all that good stuff, we're going to be using flues trades just so people can easily buy MetaReflect with fiat if they need to do that. But this is going to be another way to bring MetaReflect to the masses. There's a lot of people that invest in cryptocurrency that they don't know how to find a contract address. They don't know how to swap their BNB or do all that stuff. So this is going to be super easy. Allows people to just go in, connect their bank account, buy BNB or whatever currency and swap that directly into MetaReflect. Then we have Project Walhalla, which is another, non-disclosure project. This is our biggest project, and this is going to be a revenue generating utility that all profits will go back into MetaReflect. So I touched on this briefly earlier, but the biggest struggle with cryptocurrency projects is finding or continuing to find new investors. And obviously there comes a time when finding those new investors, you may hit a wall or you may hit a ceiling. So this project, Walhalla, along with our other non-disclosed project, these two utilities are what we're going to use to generate revenue and put that directly back into MetaReflect. We're going to buy it, burn it. That's going to decrease the supply, increase the rewards all around. And the way this is going to work is because it's not solely dependent on MetaReflect. So what I mean by that is you might be thinking like, oh, well, you're still going to be reaching the same investors because, it's a MetaReflect project and you're not going to be able to reach any new people. But what I'm going to say is that it's not solely based on MetaReflect. Both these projects expand much further than MetaReflect. They expand into cryptocurrency in general, and they're going to be utilizing the whole cryptocurrency market. So that's what's super exciting about this project and our two utilities that we have our headlights on right now, is that we're going to be able to take these profits and revenue and put them directly back into MetaReflect so that we don't have to depend on growing the investors exponentially just to make a profit. Going on, we have the token distribution, which is also seen in the front page of the website. Pretty straightforward. So we have 3% marketing, 5% team. This is vested over 2 years. It's released every 30 days. So we'll get 0.2% every 30 days, and we'll either relock it or put it towards marketing. Anything that happens is going to be disclosed. Then we have 10%, which is going to V1 holders. So if you're unaware, MetaReflect is a migration from a previous project. The previous project was called Micro Santa. Basically, the pitfall with the previous project was a lack of planning and a lack of team structure. And that just led to a project that was being run by one person, myself, and it really was hard to recover. So thankfully I found Malik, and we formulated a team that's willing to put in the work and a team that's dedicated to the project. So that 10% is going to go to the V1 holders. It's not going to be fully used. There's probably about 7.3% that's going to be airdropped. That is if every holder requests to get their airdrop. Basically, the way we did it was to recover liquidity from the last project and fund this project, we had members send tokens to a wallet because obviously the liquidity was locked. So whoever sent their tokens to the wallet by the specific date, they're going to get their airdrop plus a small bonus of 2%. And that was to entice them to send it by the deadline that we needed so we could start development of the other project. And then anybody who hasn't sent it, if they reach out to us, in a week or in a month's time, and they're like, "Hey, I never got my MetaReflect tokens," we're going to airdrop them, but we're gonna take out a portion as we should, because they missed the deadline. So it'll be like a small penalty. It won't be anything detrimental. It'll be maybe a few bucks, like nothing huge. So that's just a way that we tried to entice people to send their tokens and migrate, because we wanted to get moving on the other project, and we gave them about 3 to 4 weeks to do that. And anybody that didn't do that, we couldn't really figure out another way to help them. But then we have the pre-sale, which obviously is coming up on March 10th. Hope you guys have all filled out the whitelist. That is a very integral thing to get in that whitelist. But this pre-sale, it's pretty straightforward. It's going to have a hard cap of 300, soft cap of 150. There's going to be about 500 whitelist investors. These investors will get 10 minutes to invest soft launch. If it's not filled in 10 minutes, then we'll open it up to the public and go from there. As of right now, what we're looking at is it's probably going to be filled within the first minute. We're keeping a close watch on the whitelist and its participants. We've been monitoring all of the email addresses and users entering. We've noticed some activity that's suspicious and bot-like in that whitelist. So what we're going to do to remedy the situation is we're going to be taking the whitelist winners by tomorrow. It closes at tomorrow at noon. So we're going to take all the winners and we're going to directly email them. If they don't respond to the email within 24 hours, then they're not going to be given the whitelist. And that's just another step of verification that we've had to implement because we've noticed some unusual activity. And we're going to try to do this as fairly as possible. We're going to try to give everybody as much time as they need because we don't want real people suffering. So that will be discussed and that will be stated tomorrow. But that's just, we don't want the pre-sale to get botted. We don't want it to sell out in a minute to 4 wallets. We want it to be legit. We want everyone to have a fair chance. So we're trying to take the precautions to ensure that it's not botted. As for the liquidity and these locked tokens, so we have 37% of the supply, which is locked for utilities down the road. These utilities are the Play-to-Earn game, the Project Walhalla, the other NDA project, and our staking and that stuff. These will be locked for a time frame of 4 to 5 months, something like that. We haven't locked them yet, but they'll be locked before pre-sale. I can promise you that. The reason we're not going to lock it for a year is because if we lock it for a year and we finish, our play-to-earn game in 6 months, and we need these tokens as a key, component of this game, then we kind of got ourselves in a pickle. So we're going to lock it for a time frame that allows us to utilize them when needed, given the time frame of when we expect to finish things, but also give investors confirmation that we don't plan on touching these. And every time they unlock and we don't need them, we'll immediately lock them. There'll be nothing going on from there. And then, obviously the tax allocation, 8% BUSD, 4% marketing, 1% liquidity, and 1% buyback. We found this 14% to be kind of the sweet spot. We know a lot of people like to have, 12, 13, 14% BUSD reflections, and that's great, but it really sucks when you go to sell and you're having to pay 18, 20% tax, which just kind of takes out of what you made. So we found this 14% range to be the sweet spot of tax allocation and something that'll benefit the holders as well as the project and the supply and liquidity. And then a little more on the tokenomics. So obviously we have BUSD rewards. These are automatically distributed every hour. You can also claim them manually if you don't want to wait. We also have an anti-whale, which is going to prevent anybody from selling more than a certain amount of the supply. It says here in the white paper that no sale amounts to 0.25% of the supply or higher, but I believe we've actually dropped that to 0.125% of the supply. So just minor update right there. But that's just to ensure that no one is going to be able to dump. We understand that pre-sale, it's kind of hard to prevent dumps because people just want to make a quick buck. That's just kind of how it goes. But we have things in place to remedy this and put money back into the token and get it on the road. We also have the anti-rug, which is just our 2-year long period vesting cycle, as well as our 3-year liquidity lock. We believe that to be sufficient time to get the utilities we need to get done. And when that time comes, we'll gladly relock the liquidity, and we'll gladly relock the vesting cycle should we not need it. And then we have a marketing fee. This is to fund the project. A lot of projects die due to lack of budget. They don't budget their spending properly, and they run out of money. This is a huge problem. So we're trying to account for that and fund the marketing wall in a way that will benefit the project in the long term. And then even further in, this is getting really small. It's a roadmap of what we have planned. You can go ahead and head through this. I'll go briefly because I feel like I'm dragging out a little bit. But basically, this Q4 of 2021 is the setup, finalization of Telegram, all the initial development things. And then Q1 of 2022 is, the contract, the audit, the pre-sale, and then the listing on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. Q2 of 2022 is the D-App, rewards dashboard, and swap. And then we're also announcing partnerships for those rotating staking contracts. And we're launching a CertiK audit and other partnerships with projects not involving staking. We plan to partner with projects in as many ways as possible. The rotating staking pools is the biggest one, but we also plan to partner in projects with other ways. And then we're going to start development on Project Walhalla and our other non-disclosed project. And then Q4 is NFTs, Nft Marketplace. We're going to implement a DAO for the rotating staking pools so that the community can choose what they want to be up there, and it's not solely based to us. While that DAO is being implemented, we're going to take votes in the community and gauge it that way. But we're hoping to get that out actually faster than Q3 or Phase 4. And then we're going to be looking at our first CEX listings as well. This kind of crosses between Q2 and Q3, so we're going to be always constantly looking for those and getting those out. So that's the general consensus of our white paper. And now I'm just going to show you a brief overview of our dashboard so you guys can get a look at this. So this is the dashboard. This is going to be linked to our website where you can just click on it. It'll bring you here in a separate page. As you can see, we're on the Home tab. This is going to show you all about your wallet. It's going to show you how much you've earned, the volume, and how much you're holding. And then it's going to show you the total BUSD distributed. And obviously, don't worry about the wording right now. We're still having to change that. That's just minor details. But then it also gives you a little bit on the rewards, staking, swapping, and that stuff in case you just came straight here and didn't go to the website. And then over here, we have a staking tab. So these are going to be our pools. We're going to have all these pools, X amount of them are going to be MetaReflect pools, and then the rest are going to be the rotating staking pools. You're going to be able to see how much you're earning, and what the fee is and how long the time lock is. You also be able to drop down and see the amount of BNB you have staked and what you're earning on that. And these contracts for these staking pools are going to be audited before we launch them, so there should be no concern there. We're also going to have farms, as stated. Same thing. These farms are going to be able to be interacted with Mrf, and it's the same concept as staking. You'll have an APY, lock time, and all that good stuff. And then we're going to have an analytics page, which is basically, this is kind of like a brief introduction to our wallet. It's going to give the latest price and the latest volume, the market cap, and then it's going to give you how much has been burned, value staked, and that stuff. The reason I say it's an introduction to our wallet is because our wallet's going to be very similar to this, except it's going to track your holdings. So instead of this being the latest price of Mrf, it'll be like the latest, like how much you've gained, your percent profit. Then this About tab, this is going to bring you back to the website. Just if you came here straight from Google or whatever and didn't go to the website, this Telegram will bring you to the Telegram, and the Twitter will bring you so on and so forth. We also have a Discord. We aren't as active in Discord at the moment just because it's hard to monitor and manage Telegram and Discord. So right now we're focusing on the growth of our Telegram because we understand that that's where majority of cryptocurrency investors start out. Discord is great for longevity, and we have the Discord fully set up so that we can make the switch over to that sooner or later. We'll keep the Telegram always open, but the Telegram is just an easier access to investors and new investors. It's very simple to set up, so that's why we're focusing on Telegram right now to get that in line and start growing that. I think might possibly turn it over to Malik if he wants to discuss anything that I may not have touched on. But I hope I got everything covered and not too much left out. We're both super excited to tell you guys about these utilities that we have planned. It sucks because we want to blow the bomb on everything right away, but we also understand that it's all about not over promising but over delivering. So we're all about over delivering. We don't want to tell you guys something if it's not going to happen, which is why we're making sure that it will be done before we release the announcement. And also, we just don't want to release everything on one go because people are going to take it. There will be like a meta earn in 2 days that's the exact same as ours, and then it just proves pointless to our project. So we're all about protecting our project and its longevity, and also bringing you guys exciting announcements so you guys can keep looking forward to what we have to offer. So if Malik, you want to touch on anything, then.
You didn't leave me anything to say.
I don't think you left me anything to ask either.
Tried to cover it all, didn't want to take too long, but that's the general of our project and where we're headed.
Okay, awesome. I think I like it. I like you've obviously put a lot of work and thought into all of your utilities. You've obviously got some utilities available at launch. Before we go into the detail, I just want to go back to your team and see, is it just the two of you working on this, and do you have other interests? Are you on this full time or part time?
So right now the team there's 6 of us. Myself and Malix are the co-founders of the project, or the CEO and CMO as if you want to call it. And for us, it's basically full time. We both obviously have other things going on, but we're dedicating every hour of every day and every second that we can. So we're trying to dedicate as much time so that we can turn it into a full-time project. Our outlook on it is that it's going to get to a point where we're going to turn this into a business. We're going to create an LLC, and we're going to create something that people can apply for jobs and earn money for working for us. So right now it's starting out as a sort of, it's kind of part-time, I guess you want to say, but we're giving it the full-time effort when we can, in hopes that we're going to get to the point where we can do this full-time and be here every second of every day.
Okay, perfect. And you mentioned about KYC. Is that through Presale?
Yeah, so the KYC is through Presale, and that's seen on our Presale presale. We also have an audit that's verified through Presale, and we're going to be doxing in the next day or two as well. So KYC is good, but it's kind of pointless after we dox and show our face on video, but it's a good thing to have.
Yeah. So are you planning on publicly doxing ahead of presale?
Yes, the plan is to publicly dox ahead of presale.
That's correct.
Cool.
And that will entail, linking our LinkedIns to the website, as well as hosting video calls with the community just so they can verify that they match up, releasing our legal names and that kind of stuff. As for the rest of the team, like moderators or, graphic designers, that kind of stuff, we're not forcing them to dox to the community, given that they don't really have control over any of the contract or any of the money, so to say. So if they want to dox, they're more than welcome to, but we're going to leave that up to them and let them do as they wish, just because they're a less integral part of the project. Even though they're still very important, it's just not like the project is dependent on them, and we don't want them to take any liability.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. That's fair enough. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, then in terms of the actual token and your project itself, obviously there's quite a few reflection tokens out there at the moment, and it's clear that volume is key with reflections. So
yeah,
I'd like to understand what plans you've got in place to help maintain volume post-launch.
So post-launch we're going to be releasing some big announcements post-launch pertaining to marketing and how we're going to be bringing in volume. These announcements are going to be, key to peak volume, but also on top of that, just everyday marketing is how we're going to be bringing in consistent volume through ads, through AMAs like this, through social media. We're trying to cover just about every aspect of the web and be on every page possible. So I feel like the general marketing of things helps with constant everyday volume, but also that's why we're strategically planning when we release our announcements on our utilities and what we're doing for marketing and that kind of stuff, because we understand that if we just release it all at once, it'll be a lot of volume for maybe a day or two and then it will die. So that's another reason we're kind of releasing it at times, so that people always have something to look forward to.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense. And then in terms of the utilities themselves, what will be available at launch? Obviously, you've got this DApp, haven't you?
Yeah, so the DApp will be available at launch. The staking will be available shortly after launch, probably within a week.
Yep.
And that's just to ensure price stability. The biggest thing probably at launch is rewards. You're going to have the most rewards when your volume is moving. So the DApp will be available at launch, and staking will be available shortly after that. And then our utilities further and beyond will be released in increments.
Okay. And things like the play to earn game, is the plan to develop that in-house or externally? And are you going to be using this marketing fund for the development of that?
Yeah, so the plan for the play to earn game is to be developing it out of house. So you want to say we're going to be getting a team. We already have a team that's going to be developing that game, and the marketing fund is going to be going towards that. We're going to be balancing, obviously, the marketing fund so we don't blow it all on the play to earn game or all on another utility. But that's going to be done out of house, and then any contract done out of house is obviously going to be audited by 1 or 2 or 3 audit teams, so that we can ensure that it's safe and secure and works as properly.
Cool. Okay. And then the big one, Valhalla. You can't expand any more on what you're developing.
Let's see, Malik, do you want to? I mean, we can.
Because it feels like this is. I have no idea what you're creating, but it feels like reflection tokens have a DApp, they have staking, they have this and that and the other.
Yeah.
But to really set it apart,
Project Valhalla,
yeah.
So something you said earlier in reflection tokens, volume is key, and we want to bring volume. So during the first phases after launch, we will be depending on marketing a lot to get the trading volume high, but we can't keep living of that for very long. As you have seen, many projects that depend only on new investors, they don't live up for so long. So we want to create these utilities that will generate revenue and help creating volume. So how will these utilities create volume? Through the revenue generated from these utilities, it will buy MetaReflect and burn MetaReflect. Therefore, it will create buy pressure and increase the trading volume as well. So Project Valhalla will be our main revenue generating project. So we haven't disclosed any information about the project yet, and we are keeping it that way because we need announcements to make during our launch, after our launch. So that's the main reason we didn't disclose any details about the project. The second main reason is copycats. You know, if there's another team that has like 20 members, 30 members, they can see the idea and they can maybe implement it within a week and like speed us to it. So that's like the second main reason why we didn't announce what's Project Valhalla. But in time, we will be announcing more details about the project and how it works, and we'll go into further details about the economics part of it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. And is that in development now, or is it something that you're planning to begin after launch?
Yeah, it's already in development now, but as I said, we still did not disclose any information. But shortly after launch, we'll be giving out details about the project and how it works, and what's the financial system behind it.
Okay, doke. Yeah, fair enough. Right, okay then. So let's look at the tokenomics then. So it's 14% buy and sell tax. I noticed that you're only putting 1% into LP. What was the thought process behind it being so low? It feels like 2 to 3% is the general rule, but was there a reason behind that?
So basically, we had the previous project, Micro Santa, had 3% LP, I believe, and LP is great to create a stable price floor. It's also great if you can create volume through a lack of LP, so to say. You see bigger projects with $1 million in the liquidity pool, and someone buys 50K, and it doesn't really touch anything. So the liquidity pool being set at 1% will give us that a stable price floor, but it won't raise it too fast to where it becomes too stable and the volume's decreasing because that people can't make an impact on the token. These taxes are also not set in stone. As you know, you can change tax with contracts, and depending on how we see the funding going to each place, we're planning on actually redistributing some of these taxes. So the 4% marketing community management, we've discussed to be during the first initial phases to build that marketing wallet and to have the necessary funds. After that, we've discussed moving a % or two to liquidity pool and reworking the percentages so that it creates a stabler floor and something that's not going to drop and rise drastically. However, though, volume is key to BUSD rewards tokens, and while 1% seems low, it's actually still, I think, plenty sufficient to provide us a price floor while also giving us enough price action to make good rewards.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, just a quick question on that point, guys. What ratio are you aiming for to start with?
Ratio of taxes? No,
your LP ratio.
So the LP is going to be 1% at launch, and that's going to be through.
Your ratio to market cap. So, like, are you aiming for like 1 to 10? Like, so let's say you started at $1 million, you starting with 100K LP. What's your plan for the ratio?
Oh, so that's dependent on how much of the pre-sale that we fill. So, 25% of
the pre-sale rate will be one BNB to 800 billion tokens.
Yeah, but the pre-sale is going to be 25% of that's going to go towards liquidity. So I couldn't give you an exact number because I don't know if we're going to fill 150 or 300 BNB. So if we fill 300 BNB, then you can expect 25% of that to be in liquidity right off the bat, which would be like 75 BNB. And then from there, it'll obviously increase 1% per every transaction, or 1% of the transaction. But I couldn't give you an exact number just because of how much the pre-sale is going to fill. Like if we only fill 150 BNB, then we only have about 38 BNB in there.
And how much LP did you pull from the Santa token?
So the LP we pulled from the Santa token was the percentage. I'm not sure. We pulled, I want to say, 18 BNB, and that's all going towards marketing. We're not planning on funding that back into the liquidity pool.
Okay, and then is there anything left in that?
Yes, there's still I don't know, $12,000 locked for another like 8 months, and when that unlocks, we'll either fund the liquidity pool or put it towards marketing.
And what will be your biggest token holder coming out from that token?
I'm not the number very quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact number, but I don't think that no one owned more
I
than...
have the number. Just give me a second.
No problem. We'll come back to that. That's cool.
Okay.
While waiting, MicroSanta, you said the token was. When did that launch?
So that launched in like February, November-ish.
Okay.
I want to say November. And that project, I saw a question come up in the chat. That project was launched by not a developer that's on the team anymore. And that project was 4 team members, very minimal. And basically what happened was they launched it and kind of, just died. They died immediately, gave up on it. And they wanted to do all these things, but they didn't want to put in the work. And I kind of took over doing everything and trying to make everything happen. So to answer, I think it was hold, retire. To answer your question, what we learned from MicroSanta was 1, don't name your token based off a holiday because that's very seasonal. And 2, plan ahead, plan for the future. We've put a lot of planning into this. We've put a lot of time building a good team, and we're focused on that more than anything now. And also the people that were a part of MicroSanta are not a part of this. They've all since been, disbanded and gone wherever they've gone.
Okay.
So to answer your question, so the largest wallet will be transferring is holding 2.9 trillion tokens. So that will be around 0.3% of the total supply.
And that's also not, that's not even going to be, hold on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's actually 3.6 trillion tokens. The largest holder.
Yeah, so if you buy 2 BNB in the pre-sale at a rate of 900 billion, you're going to be getting, I think,
1.8 trillion.
1.8 trillion, yeah, so.
All right, I got you. Thank you.
Cool. Right, okay then. So in terms of the pre-sale, did you raise any private funds?
We did not, no.
No, okay, so it's straight
We
to
did not.
pre-sale.
Yeah, we didn't want to raise private funds just because we didn't want to deal with withholding those private investors' tokens. We didn't want to withhold them, but we also didn't want them to dump immediately on launch, so we did not hold a private sale.
Okay, and so it's been self-funded up to this point?
Yes.
Yep. And is there a discount on pre-sale versus launch?
The discount is, for pre-sale, you're going to get 900 billion tokens, and for launch, you're going to get 800 billion.
It's about 10% discount, yeah.
10% discount, okie doke. And it's on pink sale, that's correct, isn't it?
It is on pink sale, yes.
What are you going to do about the 2% token allocation for pink sale? Have you got a plan for that?
So in the last project, that was a concern with the 2% allocation from pink sale. What we discovered was that pink sale actually never sold a single token that they were allocated. That's not to say that they won't sell. So there's a few ways that we can combat this. We don't want to completely blacklist their wallet address just because it's like kind of against, I feel, terms of services to do that, just because they state outright that that's like, you know, how they fund the presale. But we did notice last token that the 2% they took, they didn't sell. However, it did build a large portion of rewards on it. It took about $12,000 worth of rewards or more. So what we're going to do is we're going to disable the rewards for that wallet so that those get redistributed to everyone else, because we don't feel that they need to be making even more money. But as for the 2%, we didn't have a problem last time with them selling, and I wasn't not looking forward to having a problem with them this time. They're very, you know, straightforward, pretty honest guys, so I don't think that should be an issue. But we're definitely going to turn off the rewards for that wallet so that they don't hog the rewards.
I mean, I'd tread a bit more carefully with that, to be honest with you. I haven't seen it firsthand. Kind of, I think you might have got lucky with the Santa one. I've seen them dump out the gates on a small market cap token. I've also seen someone make a deal to buy them at the price before it launched, for them to turn around and say, no, you're not having them at that price. You're having them now at the market price. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Just tread carefully with that thought process.
Yeah, no, the last project, we did blacklist them for the first like 3 to 4 weeks, probably the first month, and then we unblacklisted them, and there was no issues. And in that first 4 weeks, like after that time was up, we were at an even higher point. So we can discuss this further. The team will discuss this further on what we do, but I mean, no problem blacklisting them. That's like totally fine. I could care less. Doesn't affect me really. It only helps us. So.
Okay, never seen that done before, but fair enough. When's pre-sale taking place?
Pre-sale's taking the 10th. Yep, 2 days.
Cool. And you mentioned that 25% is going to the LP. So what will the remaining percentage be going towards?
Or no, not 25%. My apologies. 75% is going towards liquidity. The other 25% is going to the marketing wallet. Cool. That's my apologies.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Toby, have you got anything else?
There was a question from Hold earlier, which kind of like, I know you touched on marketing earlier, but at the minute, obviously the TG is about 500 members. So what are your plans at the minute to try and sell out that pre-sale? And then what would be your plans after the pre-sale to build up the buy pressure?
So the current plans before pre-sale are running AMAs. We have obviously this AMA. We have an AMA with Achilles in an hour. We have an AMA with Pink Sale tomorrow. We have an AMA set up with Travlad and Caesar. We're not official yet, but we're working to get an AMA confirmed with them for at launch, if not immediately after launch. I believe personally that the doxing will bring hype solely for some reasons underlying there. And then also the announcement that we're making immediately after launch, which is a big marketing push, will also bring easily 10,000 plus eyes onto MetaReflect. So kind of how we're planning it is to do the AMAs up until pre-sale. And I don't think that should be a problem to sell out of that. Plus with the doxing and the marketing on social media, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and then immediately after launch, AMA with a large group such as Travlad or Caesar, and then the announcement that we're going to make about our big marketing venture that will be taking place a few short days after pre-sale.
When are you planning to leverage your docs? Is that before or after pre-sale?
That's going to be before. So the docs is, I mean, it's going to be either like tomorrow. It's going to be happening before. Basically, we're going to, put our information on the website, and then we'll hold an in-house AMA, video AMA, and then do more AMAs after that out of house. So I think the docs, personally, I think the docs will bring a lot of hype, but that's just my personal opinion, just based off of what I know about myself.
Yeah, like I mean, I'd have to agree with you. There's obviously reflection tokens that come out and they struggle to get past a certain point if the team aren't doxed, and
Yeah,
I do agree with that, and the fact that you can leverage it is good as well. And I was just wondering whether you were going to do it before or after, but that's cool.
yeah, no, definitely before. We're gonna do it before, just to try to get, even more hype. I don't think it should be a problem filling the presale without a dox, but we were planning on doxing before anyways, and that's how we're gonna do it.
Just one more question from the community. I did hear you touch on it, but I was driving back. So your anti-whale, what have you got in terms of that?
So the anti-whale is going to be 0.125% of the supply being sold, transferred at one time. We also have an anti-bot that's in place for launch to prevent bots from sniping the contract. But the anti-whale is, pretty straightforward, seen on most contracts nowadays. It's just maximum transaction size, and that's variable. So if we find that 0.125% is too low, then or too high, then we'll lower it. And if we find that it's too low and people are complaining, then we'll up it a little bit. So that's a completely variable function.
Is that
for the start?
Is that on buys and sells?
It is on buys and sells, yes.
And so is there a time period on that, or is that you can just do it as many times as you want? It's just that's the maximum transaction.
What do you? Oh, like interacting with the contract?
Yeah, so you haven't time restricted it to a 24-hour period or anything like that.
Yeah, so that's with our sniper contract is like we can set that so you can't interact within an X period of time, buy and sell. So it's not within it's not within the maximum transaction, but it's within the sniper to limit how many times people can interact given a certain time period.
Yeah, that's good to know as well. But just like so, what I was kind of referring to was, so is there? Say I've got 0.5%. Is there anything to stop me selling that 0.125% 3-4 times in one go, or is it?
So
does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So the way it would work is like if the maximum TX is 0.125% and you were to try to sell 0.125% of the total supply, then that would go through, considering that the max supply or the max transaction is set at 0.125%.
Yep. And can I do another sell straight after?
No.
So what's the period on that?
So right now, I believe it's set to 15 minutes, but that's also variable, so we can change that.
Okay.
But the most important thing is probably the TX size, just because the sniper is it allows someone, or it doesn't allow someone to interact with the contract multiple times, like back to back to back. But if the max TX is 0.5% and they're selling 0.5%, they only have to do it once. So it's more important about the max TX size so that they can't sell a huge bag all in once.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're planning to increase that as time goes on.
Yeah, as the market cap rises, we'll be increasing it to, accordingly. But for the initial stages and while we increase the hype and the first few weeks after presale, that's going to stay pretty low so that people can't dump bags.
Cool. Let me take it away, Mark. I don't know if you got anything else to ask before you go to the community.
I think let's go to the community now and then come back to me. So if there's anybody that's got any questions that'd like to unmute themselves and ask away, go for it.
Yeah, I had a question for you guys. I missed the first few minutes. For your guys burning, what's your process for that on launch? Are you guys going to make it like a hyper deflationary by doing a slow roll, like maybe 5-10 million, a billion tokens a day, or are you guys doing 20% of supply to make the initial pump? What's your process? How do you guys work in that, and what do you see being beneficial to the project?
Yeah, so we've discussed all types of burn options. We've discussed the hyperdeflationary where we burn X amount of day. We've discussed a smaller approach where you burn per every market cap milestone reached. Personally, I think it's great to be hyper deflationary in the beginning stages, but with that also comes a lot, like it's going to just cause a bigger sell-off, so to say. So I think what we're going to be doing is the latter approach, where we burn every market cap reached. So in the beginning stages, that will be at 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 market cap. So that will be fairly often. And then as the market cap increases, as it gets to 10 million, we won't do our next burn until 12 million, so to say. So it will level out over time as the market cap grows, and we think that's a better approach, given that it also gives people something to look forward to. If we're just burning 1 trillion tokens a day, everybody knows that burn's going to come at this time or whatever. But if we're leaving it up to the token to do itself, then we can say, like, once we reach this $10 million market cap, we're burning this amount of supply, and people really want to reach that $10 million market cap. And once that burns, then it boosts it even more.
Does that answer your question, JM?
Yeah, it's perfect. I like the fact that you're not just going to burn. I've seen a lot of tokens do like a 50-60% burn, like you said, then there's a massive drop because there's no incentive to hold on. So I like the fact you have a kind of a long-term strategy. That's really key.
Yeah, a lot of people, we see a lot of rewards tokens burn 50% on launch, or they burn a massive amount immediately on launch, which is cool and all, like it's great, but that's not really a longevity type of strategy, and that's not something that we're looking to do because it only causes a bigger sell.
Definitely. I like the breakdown of your guys' website and going through and kind of explaining things. I think it's going to be kind of nice to have one area to go through all the different wallets that you connect to it. So instead of going into MetaMask or Trust Wallet, all these other ones that individually doing it, it's going to save a lot of time, and it makes it way better, way easier for trading. So that's really cool. Yeah, that's very smart to have it on launch, already ready to go.
Great stuff. Any other questions? No.
Yeah.
Hold.
Just one quick question about the Pink Sale. So if Pink Sale had 2% of Micro Santa, are you not also airdropping them 2%? Whatever it would be.
No. No. The way it worked is basically we set out an announcement that we were migrating, and we gave the community about 4 weeks to send their tokens to a wallet. This was a newly created wallet with no previous transactions. Once that time frame was over, we took all of those tokens and sold to recover as much liquidity as possible. From that wallet, we exported a CSV of all token holders that sent their tokens in. What we're going to do on launch is all of those token holders that sent their tokens to the wallet by the deadline are going to be airdropped their respective amount plus that small bonus. Anybody that didn't send their tokens by that time, if they reached out after the fact, what we're going to do is we're going to airdrop them, but we're going to subtract a percentage of their tokens as like a penalty for not sending it by the time. If they don't reach out at all, then we're not going to be airdropping their tokens. So we're not going to be airdropping Pink Sale. We're not going to be airdropping anybody that doesn't reach out to us. If they come to us and say that they didn't get their tokens, we'll gladly airdrop them. But because of the fact that a lot of people we have seen just have like left and just like let their tokens sit there, it's not worth burning the supply, sending it to them if we don't even know if they like care about the project. So Pink Sale is not going to get 2%. And if they ask for it, they're not going to be getting anything. Actually, that's the only people that we won't airdrop. But everybody else, if they come to us, in like a week and they ask, sure, I'll send you your tokens, but you're gonna incur a cost or a fee, and that's just how it is, and that's how we laid it out from the start.
Just on the flip side to that, though, how do you feel about these people who've held the token and looked away? And that's the definition of a diamond hander, really. Yeah, they haven't kept up to date with the project, but
so the way we calculated it, and when we made the announcement in our Telegram, I say our market cap was around 200, 300,000. So the way it works out is no matter what amount that they have, no matter when they reach out to us, given that our market cap's going to be starting well above that and we don't see it dipping anywhere near that, they're going to be in profit even with that fee taken out. Okay. If that makes sense. So because the time that we announced our migration, the market cap was at about 200,000. We see this market cap starting at over 500,000 off launch, and we see it staying there. So no matter what, this airdrop and their fee is not going to hurt them in any way. They'll be having just as much as they had when we announced the migration. Hopefully that answers your question.
I got a question real quick to touch on. I'm not sure who just asked that, Toby or Mark, but I think more of what they were in line with was the people that maybe bought 4 weeks ago and then they turned in your old token and then they turned around and they've held all this time. They're not following Telegram. They're not following any of that stuff. That is the true definition of a diamond hand. They believed in you enough to buy your token, hold it, and they haven't done anything with it. And maybe they're so busy that maybe they're on vacation, whatever the fact. So all of those people that did not send their tokens to that address and everything, they're just going to lose everything. Is that right?
Well, no. So I see where you're coming from. That is the true definition of a diamond hander. I also see the flip side where if you care about an investment, you're going to be somewhat paying attention to it. The way we set it up in the old group was that we gave ample time notification and, made everybody aware of what was happening. I mean, a month's time of constant notifications that we're migrating, you'd think that someone, sees that and thinks to themselves that like, maybe I should send my tokens. Regardless, we've left the old Telegram open with a message, like main message you see in the Telegram is that we've migrated, like, go to our new Telegram, send you want your airdrop, contact us. So I understand where you're coming from saying that those are diamond holders. And on one hand, yes, it seems like they should be airdropped. And I'm not like, I would love to airdrop, all of them. We very well can airdrop everybody and just like take a small fee from it. But it just feels like if they just, they join the Telegram, they'd see what's up. Like we tried to make it very clear on what was happening and how they can follow us in the migration. That's not to say like I want people to lose out or not join the Telegram. Like I want everybody to be, better off than they were in that project. So maybe that's something that we'll have to, discuss in the next few days, the team to figure out a situation. But
what you're saying is, though, is if they come to you in 2 years, they can still get the tokens from you, right? Because you're keeping them set aside. So,
no matter when they come to us, they'll get their tokens. But like basically, if they're not asking for them, it's not going to be just readily sent, so to say.
Yeah, that's okay.
But if they come to us in 4 or 5 years, yeah, sure, we'll send you your tokens. We have them set aside. We're just not going to do it off launch.
On that note, what are you locking the rewards on them tokens that you're holding aside?
The rewards, it's not going to receive, that wallet's not going to receive rewards.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that's going to be off, not a part of the reward system.
Got ya.
Cool. I think so. Just one last question from me then. It's one that we always like to ask here at the Legit Crypto Lounge. For us, the long-term success of a project can't be achieved without a clear vision from the team behind the token. So my final question to you is, at what point does this project become a success to you guys?
That's a good question. I think the moment it becomes a success for us, wow, that's a deep question. Personally, the moment it becomes a success is the moment that I can't go 5 seconds without constant activity in the Telegram, over 20,000 members, just constantly chatting, hyping, people excited about the vision. But beyond that, I think the moment it becomes a success is the moment we create ourselves a brand and create ourselves in the real world and establish ourselves, and go from being just a cryptocurrency project to being a legit company with legit products and these things that we're selling other than just on the blockchain. And that's my personal opinion. I'm not sure if Malik feels the same, but I think, I mean, I would be complete the moment that there's 10,000 people constantly, you know, hyping in the chat. That would be great. That's like a milestone in itself.
Good answer, Malik. Did you have something to add on that?
I was just agreeing with what he said. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, nice answer. I like it. Is there anything else? Any closing statements that you'd like to add?
No. Check out the pre-sale though. Super excited for it. Join the group. Stay tuned. Doxxing very soon. Releasing huge announcements also very soon. So definitely get in there, check it out. We're super excited for what we have to come.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate you joining us for today's AMA. And good luck with pre-sale. Good luck with the launch of MetaReflect.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having us, and we hope everyone has a good day.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cool. So